All right, Rob. Baseball a few days ago, I mean, it stole the show with the $700 million signing of Shohei Ohtani going to the LA Dodgers. And then a few days ago,
one of your former co-workers, Chris, broke the story. Jack Curry, who worked at the New York Times when you did. Did you know Jack at all, a little bit?
I knew him. I think we may have met, but
right.
You know how it is.
You didn't cover, right.
Baseball.
He's covering baseball, you covering basketball.
So
Jack worked at the Times for a long time. He's an analyst at the Yes Network.
Yeah. But what he broke was Yoshinobu, hope I said it right, Yamamoto, the pitcher from Japan. Of course, Shohei's from Japan. He signed, Rob, also with the Dodgers, $325 million over 12 years. And now the Dodgers, of course, have those two fantastic players, combining them with Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. And I mean, they are the very definition of a super team. And they did even more. So, Rob, do you think that you have an interesting take on Yamamoto? And I think this is very interesting. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Chris, I get it. If you're the Dodgers, you do whatever you can. You know what I mean? He's available. You go after him. Other teams were going after him. The Yankees, the Mets, the Red Sox. Yep. I get it. You know what I mean? And they have money to spend. So I get that. I'm not mad at the Dodgers. I'm mad at Yamamoto. I'm mad at Yamamoto because I think he cheated himself by teaming up with Ohtani. And what I mean, Chris, is he was a star in his own right in Japan.
Right.
Highly sought after, had won the equivalent of the Cy Young. I don't know what they call it in Japan, like 2 out of the last 3 years, I think. Is that right, Rob G? I think it's 2 out of the last 3 years. Chris, just from all scouting accounts, he's the real deal. He's unbelievable. And by teaming up with Ohtani, to me, he's knocked his own value down, his own legendary status down, because he's joining the ultimate guy. So I look at Ohtani as cheese. Yamamoto is extra cheese. They already have the cheese. And if the Dodgers win a couple of World Series, it's going to be about Ohtani. Yamamoto had a chance, Chris, to set up his own legacy. He was already a star in Japan. Go somewhere else and be up against Ohtani, have the chance to be the guy who beat Ohtani, who becomes the legendary figure. I'm not saying he's not going to get any credit being a pitcher and, you need pitching to win the playoffs. But don't tell me Ohtani's not going to get the top billing. They already have Mookie Betts. They already have Freddie Freeman. They've won over 100 games the last 2 years without Ohtani and without Yamamoto. They've already done that. So what, are they going to win 115 games? Is that it? Okay, they won 115 games. What, are they going to win 140 games out of 162? They win 100 games every year without those guys. He had a better chance of going elsewhere and being in competition against Ohtani. I look at it, it's like Kevin Durant. Some people, Chris, he went to the Warriors. They'd already won. They won their championship. He won the 2. He was the finals MVP fine. People still looked at him and was like, yeah, all right. Well, he joined a team that won the most games in the regular season, and they already won a championship without him. All right, he won, and we get it. We give him some credit, but he never got full credit. And I think that's where Yamamoto has signed up to be in the shadow of Ohtani, and I don't think that he needed to do that. He is big enough where he could have been his own dog. And that's where I say he's made a mistake by signing with the Dodgers, and he's cheated himself, his career, and his legacy by joining such a star who's going to outshine everybody on that team for the next 10 years.
Completely disagree. That makes no sense whatsoever to me. Because, first of all, the comparison to Kevin Durant, I mean, Kevin Durant went to a team that was 1 year removed from winning the championship and not even a year removed from actually being in the NBA Finals. That was a stacked team that had clearly won without you. The Dodgers won it, 4 years ago? And have now been back to the
is not
World
4
Series
years ago.
3 years ago. 3 years ago. It'll be 4 years.
And the last 2 years they've won over 100 games. Right, go ahead.
So what? They're nowhere near a legendary team. If anything, they're viewed as a failure. I mean, really, we've talked about it, just like the Atlanta Braves. These Dodgers haven't been any great success. They got one World Series 2 World Series appearances in the last decade. So he is definitely not pulling a Kevin Durant by any. I mean, if anybody you were going to jump on with that comparison, as off as it was, it would be Shohei. Shohei's the one going there first. A team that, if you want to compare him to the Warriors, it was him being Durant. But again, I don't even think it makes sense because it was a while ago that they won. They haven't been back in years. If they get to the World Series, no one's going to be like, they always get there. They don't. And then secondly, they have a chance, Rob. This team could be exactly what baseball needs. Baseball needs, and it's ironic because they're not, these are two guys from Japan, not even from America. But I would love it if the Dodgers could become like a national team where they became a circus, where they were the Heatles with LeBron and Wade and Bosh, where they were the Warriors with Durant and Steph, and where they are the Cowboys, where it's must-see TV whenever they're on. And then they're two separate positions. Maybe I think Ohtani will pitch. We think he'll pitch, but even if he pitches, how in the world is he going to take away from Shohei Ohtani? It's the nature of the sport. Like baseball is completely different. In basketball, if your skills don't fit, then yes, one superstar can take away from another. But in baseball, man, I can be as great as I can be, regardless of how great you are. You can't change. My batting average can be as great. I can hit as many home runs as I was going to hit with you on my team or with you down the street playing for somebody else. I can pitch as well as I can regardless of who my teammates are. I mean, this don't make no sense to me. I think he did the right thing. If he went to the Giants, sure, it'd be big, but I just think both of them, Rob, and I think you would want this too. My guess is you would love them to become this huge team that rallies even casual baseball fans. But if their best chance of that happening would be together on a historic team like the Dodgers with a Mookie Betts and a Freddie Freeman. And if anybody is going to take away from if they win, and again, I think it's baseball, so they'll be fine, but it would take away from Freeman and Betts because they've been there and haven't been winning, since they won in the shortened season. So I disagree. I disagree. Did Yamamoto make a mistake by joining fellow Japanese superstar Shohei Ohtani with the LA Dodgers? Your thoughts?
All right,
Chris and Rob.
Dave in Montana, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, guys? Appreciate y'all having me.
No doubt. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Thanks. You guys too. I got to disagree with you a bit, Rob. I will say I really like the comparison to Durant and the Warriors. Maybe the Dodgers haven't won as much, but it's just a stacked team. So I think that's a fair comparison.
Okay.
But he doesn't necessarily have to stay in the shadow of Shohei, I think, because everything you're saying assumes he comes back 100% and pitches like he used to. And that may not happen. That's what made him special. If he's just a hitter, he's just another star.
Well, can I give you just all right, let me give you just another hitter of a guy who was a two-way player and then decided just to be a hitter. His name wound up being Babe Ruth. And he was a pitcher and hitter and just decided to be a hitter. And we still remember him, right? So let's not make it like if Shohei is playing the outfield every day, Chris, and just hitting, he could wind up being like that. Like that.
You would think he might hit better.
Am I right? That's seriously. Sure. Like that's
I don't think he's getting to 600 home runs.
Well, I mean, he got a late start, right? I get that. He was in there and here's the other thing that people forget. He was in Anaheim for 6 years. He didn't just show up from Japan last week. He's been in Anaheim for 6 years already. Tony in D.C., you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Tony?
What's up, fellas? What's good? Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
What up?
Continued health to both of you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man. You too.
I'm kind of with Rob on this one. It's the Dodgers are going to be loaded, so it's always going to be that stigma. Well, he was on a loaded team. If he would have signed with Texas or Chicago or something.
Or even the Yankees, like they haven't won since 2009. Yeah. If he goes there and he's the missing piece, right? Yeah. He's the missing pitcher.
They've got one championship. It's baseball. Do we not remember Lou Gehrig? Because he played with Babe Ruth? I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah, but who do we know?
Honestly, y'all talking about this like this is basketball or football.
No, but I'm just saying.
Don't make sense
who's
to me.
Who's going to get all of the
They're both going to get a ton if they play well.
But who's going to get the most?
If you guys are right, then my goodness, I feel bad for Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. Because they came here and could win regular season games and have actually played poorly. Mookie, especially in the postseason with the Dodgers.
Both of them played
poorly. So now if they win it, they're not going to get any love. I mean, really? That should be your target, not Yamamoto. Shohei didn't win a jack with the Angels.
He didn't even make the playoffs.
It's just the whole it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm baffled by this take.
Brandon, in California, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, what's up, Chris and Rob? Big fan of you guys. Hey, I agree 100% with you, Chris. Rob, the Dodgers needed to address pitching. That is why we have been getting spanked in the playoffs, because we had no pitching. We went out and got a young, top prospect in his prime who hasn't won anything in the majors. The reason why he wanted to come to us is because he knows Shohei, and I honestly believe that's the reason why Shohei deferred so much money, so we can go out and get somebody like him. And honestly, you sound like some of these salty Giants fans that I live around.
Wait a minute. Hey, who is this? Brandon, yeah, Planners on line one. I'm so salty. Is that it?
I mean, but that's interesting too, Rob. And I think that's a lot of it. I would assume that, the relationship, I mean, you're in a different country. You know what I mean? Having a fellow countryman there. I would love to have something like that if I were playing in a different country.
To be able to feel comfortable.
Yeah,
it's a big culture shock. Like people don't, they think it's like, oh, well, you're so rich, well, it's a whole different place.
Nah,
it's
totally
just right. It's whole different. Everything's
Languages
different.
are completely different. So,